what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Yeah, man, I think we have to start with Mac Markway.
Yeah.
Right? As Mac Markway has, it almost feels like in the dead of night, decided to leave the LSU football program. This is Kelly 8 here, Alondra. Here's where Brian Kelly, and there must have been some whispers floating around because the reporters didn't seem terribly shocked about this. But here is Brian Kelly when he broke it down yesterday during the presser.
He's made a decision that he's not going to play, and he's, I don't know what his plans are, whether he's going to transfer. But he informed us last night that he was not going to play at LSU anymore.
Now, for what it's worth, Markway on his own Twitter released a graphic with a message, and it's kind of that classic, thank you to Tiger Nation. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget that. But I have, with all this in mind, after much discussion with my family and close friends, I've decided to enter my name into the transfer portal. So I find this to be shocking because as we've talked about multiple segments this offseason, it felt like Mac Markway had a huge role to play on this team. He's always been one of the most physically impressive players on the team, first team all bus for sure.
Yep.
But he had the touchdown last year in the bowl game. He felt like potentially your best blocking tight end, but with still an ability to catch. Could have factored into the red zone quite a bit. A year in which the tight ends are expected to take a step forward. But the honest part to me, Jake, is not just that all that was left on the table, but it's the timing of it. I've never understood this. Transferring during the middle of camp. You're not going to go anywhere else and play. Not because you won't be eligible, because nowadays you will.
You literally can't, though. Go play this year.
Not in the SEC. Could he not? Could he not transfer? I thought the NCAA was having trouble enforcing eligibility rules.
I'm not sure that it would be open for him to go play somewhere else this year.
I was
now,
under the
school
assumption
hasn't started, so maybe there's a loophole that you can fall into. But let's say even if he could,
we know he can't play in the SEC. Let's assume he could play somewhere potentially.
You're so far behind the 8 ball, and what you would have to do to come up to speed with the rest of the team, like they've already been through spring, summer, first week of camp. So yeah, the timing of it, like where are you going to go and what are you going to do this year? Like, and I don't know why. None of us know why, but we know Mason Taylor's there, and there's been another tight end, a true freshman that has been oohing and ahhing out there in fall camp so far. And so maybe that plays into it. I don't know, but you still were going to play more than you're going to play somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what I understand about the timing, right? Even if he is assuming that he would be eligible, it's exactly that. The only place where I feel like you could step in and play immediately would be maybe at like a smaller school or a school with some real deficiencies. Why not? You're already pot committed at this point. You've done all the summer conditioning. You've done all the hard work, the hay's in the barn. The only fun part of football is right there in front of you, the actual games, the things that make it all worth it. And you leave. And I'm sorry, I think this is coming off like I'm criticizing Markway. I don't want to do that because we don't know the details. There could be mental health. Yes. There could be some sort of drama that we don't understand. Like his reasons for leaving are his own. It's just that it's really unfortunate for him because it feels almost like a wasted offseason at that point. Because what did you do all this work for only to not be on a team like when the season is starting? And again, that's how you justify the game days are how you justify everything that you put in to this sport. And so I always think about Jalen Hurts. What did Jalen Hurts do? He stuck around. Who was the old Clemson quarterback that
Kelly Bryant?
Yes, like Kelly Bryant. He had a pretty good year. They were undefeated, but then Trevor Lawrence replaced him, and Kelly Bryant leaves immediately. What does he do? He loses the national championship ring, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts sticks around. He ends up winning his team the SEC championship. He gets all the rings and everything, and then he transfers, and he still finds all the individual success and everything else that he wanted in life. So I think this is a blow for LSU, maybe one that is lessened by Trades Green. And, we'll see Kamori Pimpton reportedly improving. But I think it is a blow. Like, I think you lose maybe a skill set that you didn't have otherwise. And for Markway, you just I hope for him personally that this all works out in the end, because the timing of all this is very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's probably not, well, I mean, you never know inside the building, but I would say it's probably not something LSU was counting on, because we are so deep into getting ready for the season. And he was somebody that played as a freshman, so you would assume he would kind of still have the role that he had when it's 12 personnel. He would be in there probably almost every time in 12 personnel because of his skill set. And so I'm not sure where LSU was as far as knowing if he was going to leave or not. But now, like, you have to change that up. If you were going to be a team that runs some 12 personnel, then what is that going to look like for you? Because we've talked about Trades Green and maybe what his role was going to be, and it hasn't been in 12 personnel. It's kind of been maybe in 11 personnel where he was playing like a true F, not a Y, and he kind of had a vertical slice of the playbook, and that's where he was going to live this year. Well, now that might change. Now he might have to go do things that they weren't counting on him having to do.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, right? Like you lose something. You lose something that you thought you had. That room is less complete now than you thought it was. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but who knows? Everybody's got to do what they deem best for themselves in this life, and you can't begrudge another man for doing so. But it's I don't know, Jake. Outside looking in, I feel like the coaching staff was surprised. I think that answer from Kelly sounded a bit genuinely like, I got told last night that he wanted to leave the program. I mean, just a month ago, he's tweeting out pictures of like an LSU photo shoot and tweeting out pictures of and quote tweeting like Preston Hickey, who was tweeting out pictures. I'd be like, let's get it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what happened, man. But Mac Markway, deciding to leave the LSU football program. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.